Call of the Void contains strong language and possible trigger warnings and is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Deacon.
And I'm Jen.
Welcome to Call of the Void, a podcast about all things weird and macabre. It's been a week. I
think everyone's been saying that every week of like the last 2 years.
Yeah. It's kind of how it be. Anyway, hello everyone. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that everybody is keeping on out there. But yeah, Jen, you had a couple things you wanted to talk to me about.
Yeah, I got two fun stories on my radar here. So we're having a good old
fun stories or
So, I'm going to start with the shorter, funnier one of the two. The first one's really funny, but also really terrifying. And the second one is very, like, what? So, are you ready? Are you fastened in? You got your spooky hat on, your tinfoil hat in case of the aliens?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been out on a boat?
Yes.
So I was out on a boat once as, like, a child. I don't remember it much. Boats are fun. Now, have you ever been on a boat and seen, like, out way into the ocean far enough where you're really not seeing land? Have you ever seen a little inflatable unicorn?
No.
So this boat is out doing its boat thing. I don't actually know what they were doing. It's something that I actually found on TikTok. And they're out there, and they find an inflatable unicorn, like, all the way out here, and they're like, oh, that's really weird. Do y'all see this? And they start recording because it's funny. And then they find out there's a dude on it. There's a dude on this inflatable unicorn with a fishing rod.
What?
So they start calling out to this guy. They're like, what are you doing out here? And he's like, I was fishing. And they're like, okay. He's like, I've got a shark.
What the fuck?
It turns out, and they pull this guy on board. He has a shark on his rod. They actually show video of them, they're yanking on the cords attached to a shark. A literal shark. This dude was at the beach, dicking around with a fishing rod, a shark got it, and it just carried him off to sea.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? Like,
no,
what was his plan?
I would literally be shitting my pants. Like, when you were originally telling me about this, I was like, oh, somebody, like, fell asleep, you know? Like, my first instinct was like, oh, maybe somebody, like, fell asleep on their little inner tube and floated out to sea. It would be terrifying if there was a shark. You already have a shark. Like, the shark is already a part of the equation. Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, you're sitting there, you're laughing, but I'm like, oh my god, what if this boat never came, or what was this dude's plan? He couldn't see land anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
holy shit.
I linked you it, whenever you want to watch it. It's short, but it's a trip.
I guess he's hoping that the Coast Guard comes eventually. Like, Jesus.
I would have let go of that rod. I don't know what he was. What do you think he was thinking?
I'd be like, this is, diminishing returns. Goodbye.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know. And then the sunburn. Oh
my god.
Like, how long was this going on?
Jesus.
It's lucky the boat didn't run him over. At least it was a boat where people were, like, looking around.
I mean, yeah.
It's not like the biggest boat, but it was definitely a boat that would have ran that dude over. If you watch
I will
it.
absolutely watch that, like, after the... Jesus Christ, that's terrifying. Wow, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I don't even know how they really, because, like, since it's TikTok, they had to cut it short, so I don't even know how they really rescued him, because, like, trying to, like, finagle getting this man, because they held the rod, and you can actually still see the shark on it, they're yanking at, and they're like, yeah, look, there's, like, literally a shark on this rod.
Man, Shark Week is weird this year.
Do you think, like, I think the real question is, did this man have family? And who did they call? like, what do you, like, what is the protocol?
I mean, I guess a better question is, did this man have family, and did they fucking know that he went out to go fishing
at the beach?
Yeah, like, if this dude just went missing. Good God. Holy shit.
I just imagine being like, my shark is dragging my husband off. Oh, like, is he being bit? Like, it's like, no, like, he's fishing. Can he let go of the rod? I mean, he's opted not to.
I mean, there's gotta be... So what's the line, right? How far do you let a shark drag you out to sea before you go, well, I may as well just continue to hold on to this thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't get any further in.
Like, how far away was he in the first place? Because the shark doesn't go that close to the beach. So he was already being very drifty. I just, like, at least I think, unless you're in the movie Jaws.
Well, I mean, they can get pretty close to shore. You'd be surprised at actually how close sharks and things like that get to the shore. Yeah, I don't go
to the beach. I don't go out to the. I was last on a boat actually I was on a ferry once as a teenager because we were trying to cut costs going to a convention. I don't like boats. I don't swim well. I'm not a fan of water or boats. So,
yeah, actually, like, sharks and things like that, like, they can get pretty close. The water isn't necessarily as shallow as you think it is. There was literally a video the other day of some, like, swimmers who were, like, doing, like, laps in the ocean, like, swimming out and then coming back, like, going to a specific buoy and then coming back. And, like, right next to them, like, literally within, like, 6 feet of some of them was a shark.
Oh.
And there's this dude in a helicopter, like, looking down at him. And, like, apparently had named the shark and was like, don't scare him, man. Like, and these people didn't see the shark. Like did not see the shark. And it was fairly close to the shore. So, I mean, they can come pretty, like, far inland.
Would you ever do one of those, like, shark cage things to get close to a shark?
Probably not, because that feels like a death wish.
It does, right?
Like, at that point, like, I don't know, that feels like
it feels like you're asking for it.
Accepting defeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it kind of feels like it's oh my God, like, we're gonna, you know, I'm ready to die at that point.
Yeah. I don't really there's a lot of, like, I don't want to say jobs, but, you know, like, if you think about, like, scuba diving is really weird if you think about it. And, like, weird as in, it's so dangerous. And there's that part of me where I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool to see underwater, but then it's like, but there's so much danger. There's so much danger. Not even just in the creatures, but if something goes wrong with your equipment and you're too far down, or, like, you're stuck somewhere, or you get that, you know, that weird pressure thing where if you go up too fast, you get that madness, that, like, sea madness. I don't know, it's just...
Well, the bins, so, like, literally, so it's like, I think it's nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Bubbles build up in your joints, and basically it's agonizing pain until the pressure, like, equalizes.
Yeah, and it messes with your brain.
Yeah, it's almost like having arthritis in, like, every single joint of your body simultaneously.
Yeah.
The bins, that shit sounds so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's the ocean is terrifying. We know way more about space than we do the ocean, which is a terrifying thought.
It's because we can't keep up with the pressure that's under there.
Yeah.
We have no means of getting deep enough to search the... Also, it's so massive.
Yeah.
And dark.
But, I don't know, like I said, I couldn't imagine doing something like that, like, or like swimming with sharks or whatever, like that. I'm not necessarily afraid of, like, the ocean as, like, a concept. You know, I know there are people who are, like, just terrified of the idea of, like, the vastness of the ocean because it's huge. And, like, that doesn't scare me. Like, that thought doesn't bother me. But, like, you know, thinking about, like, yeah, there's probably, like, vicious killer animals in this water. You know, that's something that I'm like, you know, like, I know that, like, shark attacks aren't necessarily, like, as common as they try to make them out to be. More people die every year from hippo attacks than shark attacks.
Right.
But...
Well, it's also, like, lots of people go scuba diving and they're fine, but, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd risk it. I think it just seems like, I'm like, yes, let me do danger as a fun activity. Like... Yeah,
it's one of those things that it's like, you know, I've seen enough movies where this shit goes wrong that I don't think I want to play with that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't like riding roller coasters, right? Not just because I have a massive fear of heights or the like that sudden drop, like, makes my stomach hurt and it makes me, like, feel really queasy.
Yeah.
Like, but I've also watched Final Destination 3 and I know what the fuck happened in that movie and I don't fuck with it. It's the same reason I don't drive behind those logging trucks.
The logging trucks? Yeah, the famous I've never watched Final Destination because, like, just the concept of that movie was like, I don't need to be afraid of everything in my life trying to kill me. So I've never watched any of them. I never will.
I mean, the thing is that those movies are fucking stupid, and like they get to a point where, like, there's a Final Destination where they go watch a race at like a NASCAR race.
No.
And, like, a wreck happens and it kills a whole bunch of people in the stands, and, like, those people get out before, like, the one person has, like, a vision and they're like, oh, we gotta go, and then they leave, and then that wreck happens and it kills everybody in the stands exactly where they were, and then it's like, oh my god, now death has to come for you because you, like, escaped death. But, like, those movies, like, they're dumb, right? But still, there's a part of my brain that's like, I can't drive behind this logging truck because I'll die.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, you know, it's like, what? Like, speaking of dumb concepts in movies, though, what is a dumber concept? Is it Final Destination or The Purge?
The Purge. I think The Purge is stupid. I've never watched a single one of those movies, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest fucking thing.
You know what is the most fascinating thing about The Purge, though? Have you ever heard of Saturnalia?
That sounds familiar.
So Saturnalia was a festival that either the Greeks or the Romans did, where basically they would cater to their slaves and let their slaves dine at the table, and they would serve them, and the slaves could tell their masters every bad thing they think about them with no repercussions. And it was a way, because they saw the slaves were getting angry and there was a possible uprising, so they were trying to be like, okay, one day a year we'll do this Saturnalia, and it'll calm their rage. So I just think that's really funny. The Purge was not based on this, by the way. I believe they took, like, concepts from it afterward. The Purge is actually based on the creator had a road rage incident. And it spawned this idea. But it's fascinating that, like, that idea has been done. Where, you know, not killing people, but just the idea of, like, well, if we give them a day of just this, they won't get angry and it'll keep peace and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Also, before we get back on topic, and since we're talking about movies, did you see the new trailer for the new Halloween?
I haven't. I didn't know there was a new Halloween. I have fallen off the horror movie radar. Although I did just get Shudder. We're not sponsored by Shudder, but Shudder, if you're hearing this,
I mean,
thinking about
I am super willing. But no. So there's a new So this is a sequel to the Halloween movie that came out in 2018 that we did a Call of the Void episode about. It's a sequel to that movie.
Okay.
And it's like the events are taking place after the events of that movie have happened, and like they're like getting help for Lori and all that stuff, because she had like wounds and stuff that needed to be healed. Anyway, the problem, right?
Okay.
They're like, this evil ends tonight. Tonight we kill Michael Myers. Like, whatever. And they're talking about how like every time he kills, he gets stronger and he ascends and he's becoming like this god essentially, or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And that's like that's like in the trailer, and I'm like, what? Anyway, because you know Jamie Lee Curtis is like, there's no way a man could have survived that fire. Anyway, the thing about this movie is they're talking all this shit about like we gonna kill this bitch tonight, right?
Yeah.
We know that there's another movie coming after this one.
Yeah, so they're about to fall flat on their words.
Yeah, it's like we know that there's another Halloween because Jamie Lee Curtis has signed on for 2 more. So it's this one and then the one after it.
I don't think I even saw the 2018 one.
So no matter what happens through the course of this movie, we know that both Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis are going to survive.
Well, rip.
Because like she signed on for another movie.
Well, to end this segue, because boy have we segued. And also, speaking of death, the next story, if you thought the sharks were a trip, this one is a very... What? What? Deacon, are you gonna what with me?
I will. I was going to ask one more thing. Now that
what?
You brought me back to the sharks. I was going to ask, did you see the thing where Steve Irwin's son was like swimming with stingrays again? Like
No,
continuing
I didn't.
his father's legacy or whatever?
Aww.
Yeah, he was like apparently swimming with stingrays, and I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, they killed your dad. Like, what? But at the same time, like, I mean,
It's
I get
about
it,
you break the
but
cycle.
why?
You break the cycle. It's okay.
Okay, now you can tell me your thing.
So with that, a man recently sold his house, and so he had this giant ass garden, basically. I guess it must have been a massive area of leaves covering this garden, or vines, or shrubbery. Because he clears out his yard, and he's cleaning up to sell this house. He actually already sold it before finding, what looks like to be an 18th century ornamental building. And it's this neat little building. It looks like it was there to, like, observe the garden. It looks like it was part of a manor that was on the property. I don't know how he lived there for 25 years. And he just never cleared this shrubbery.
What?
So he finds this building. Are you ready to hear what it's made of?
Sure.
It's made of teeth, Deacon.
Wait a minute.
It's made of teeth.
Hang on. Hang on. I need a second to digest this.
The man found a building made of teeth buried in his garden, Deacon.
But why?
It's made of teeth, bones, and some stones.
But why?
I don't know.
Why is it made of teeth?
I don't know.
How did they get that many teeth?
I know. I don't. I
to
mean, I don't
build a
know, but I know.
building? I mean,
I linked it in.
I have
in
an
the channel.
idea. I have
So
an
you can-
idea of where they got the teeth.
I linked it in the channel if you want to take a look at there's pictures if you want to open that now. It's not a video, so you can look at it.
I hope.
And the worst part is he already sold this house, so he's like, that would have increased the property value by so much.
hell
So he's
yeah.
getting ripped off, but made of teeth. It's a terrifying tooth palace. Just sat in that backyard, just covered in vines and shrubbery. No idea it was there.
Now, I want to say that, like I said, I have an idea of where they got the bones and the teeth.
Well, I think they're animal bones. Like, they are animal bones, I'm pretty sure it said. It's still disturbing, because that's so many teeth.
Oh, my God. I was about to say, I hope this isn't like oh my God.
You know, it's funny because they say it's animal bones, but I don't think it's been properly analyzed, so...
They used whatever was on hand from local slaughterhouses and butchers. Quite often it was sheep bones and sometimes cows. The teeth could be from cows, but the bigger ones are probably sheep.
It's terrifying, Deacon.
What in the fuck? So my
I
thought,
know.
I was like, I'm hoping that the where they got the teeth from was probably like not like, you know, like from like slaves, you know.
Right. 'Cause you're
Like
18th
that's where my
century.
brain. That's why I was
Right.
like looking through this and I was like, please God,
No,
like don't let them be human teeth. Like if they're human teeth, we have a problem.
Yeah, I did know beforehand that it was animal teeth, but I just had to set up that, you know, it's
God.
still teeth. It's
What
still
kind of like
teeth.
terrifying fucking like tooth fairy bullshit is this?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. This is another thing I found actually via a TikTok. The creepy side of TikTok is fascinating. You find
I
a
love
lot
the
of.
creepy side.
I
of
immediately
TikTok.
wanted to link you this, but then I was like, no, we need to talk about this.
I'm so glad. What in the fuck?
I don't know.
Dude.
I don't like to overhype, but like you hear, you know, mystery palace made of teeth that wasn't discovered for since the 18th century. Or
I don't
whatever.
understand. This is a big ass. Like this is taller than this man's. Right?
I know. I trust me. The TikTok I found it too was like, the TikTok I found made the joke that like it just appeared there and it like a Buffy. I never watched Buffy, but she made a joke about how we need to call Buffy because it's apparently a teleporting tooth palace.
Yeah,
was the
right?
joke they
Like,
made.
Like, how do you not notice this? Like, this is huge. How big was the fucking shrub that was covering this?
So that's what I was saying. And if you read it, he even says, we had an idea something was there. So I assume the little top was probably peeking up. But I don't know, how do you not investigate that immediately when you buy this property?
When you buy the property and you see that there is some weird shit sticking out of a bush, how do you not, like, investigate
immediately
this?
investigate that. I know
This
he's
dude
looking
made-
into finding the old maps of the property, so I'm definitely curious to see how that goes. Oh, this literally was found 10 days ago. That's how, like, fresh it is that this got discovered.
This man...
It's 12 feet tall, is what it says.
How do you miss... Okay. I don't understand how you miss a 12-foot tall... Okay.
Little building, I know. For 25
Yeah,
years.
for 25 years. Unless the thing like actually just popped up randomly out of nowhere and wasn't there previously and then suddenly was.
I mean, teleporting tooth palace is definitely the thing of nightmares.
I mean, there are. This is what, in England? This is Birmingham.
You guys would say I think it's Birmingham, but I'm so bad with geography, I don't know where that is. Is that in the UK?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But that said, I mean, how weird.
It is a UK
Like, what the
site,
fuck?
so I'm gonna assume it's in the UK. They're reporting
Yeah.
on it. What would you do with a discovery like this on your property?
First of all, I would say like there's got to be some sort of like fae, something that's out there that has been collecting teeth, like a literal tooth fairy, and I need to figure out how to break whatever contract these things have over me. That would be my first concern. Is that like, okay, I have somehow stumbled into a weird contract with the Fae, and we need to figure out how to nip this in the bud, like right now.
Yeah, hidden beneath overgrown ivory. That is like so much. Also, because I assume someone sold this property to him. How did they not? No,
yeah,
like
how was this not mentioned?
How was that not discovered? No one apparently.
By the way, in the garden there is a terrifying fucking tooth building. Like, welcome to the Tooth Shack.
Oh my god.
Like, I can't believe 25 years of this man's life. What in the fuck?
And
How?
you know, it's funny, like, as someone who lives on a large property with a lot of shrubbery, like, it's funny I'm making this joke, because my house actually has a pool and a deck, it still technically does, but it's, like, all disheveled and broken to hell. And right now, the shrubbery that is blocking it off, you really couldn't tell that it's there. Now, granted, none of that's 12 feet tall, but,
Yeah.
like,
none of that's 12 feet tall.
I don't know if for all I know, his property is huge. I mean, even in these photos, like, I know you see, like, a wall, so it looks like it might be next to his house, or it's next to some building. You can see a wall there.
Yeah, it's like...
I doubt that's a fence.
Like, directly next to a building of some sort. Like, man. What the... How? Okay.
You know what I would do with my tooth palace?
What?
Alright, so assuming it doesn't travel, I would turn it into, definitely the D&D outhouse area, right? We'll just play tabletop games in my scary tooth palace. Probably very specifically Call of Cthulhu.
Look, I need... You have the courage of, like... You would step through the fucking door?
Yeah, I'd go in there.
What?
Yeah, I would touch it, Deacon. I would touch it.
Absolutely the fuck not. There's
I
no
would-
way that you could get me to cross the threshold of that fucking door. There is not enough money in this world that you could pay me.
I would spend the night in it. I'd pull up a sleeping bag, have a little tooth palace camp trip. If I wake up somewhere else, I'll figure it out if it teleports.
That's how you get abducted. That's how you wind up in some nightmare Fey realm. I don't fuck with fairy rings either. Those little rings of mushrooms that you see on the ground sometimes that just pop up after a rainstorm and it's like a perfect fucking circle. Absolutely the fuck not. Could not pay me enough money to step in that bitch.
You can pay me. Anyone out there, you want to pay me enough money, I'll do it.
There is no way that's how you get abducted by the Fae. That's how you do it.
But what a journey that would be. I hear they're pranksters. It's fine.
I mean, sure, but some of them will eat your flesh off.
I don't know. I think they'll get bored of my sass and get sick of it. Dump me off somewhere.
But yeah, like the Fae are the kind of beings that are like, I'm actually gonna steal your kneecaps.
I actually don't know anything about Fae folk in actual lore.
Oh my
history.
God,
I don't know anything about them.
They can actually be scary. Like, I have the utmost respect for them, but they're terrifying. But yeah, like, just,
I mean, the tooth fairy is a pretty
way.
terrifying concept as it is, so.
There is no way you could get me to cross the threshold of the Tooth Palace.
What if you did it politely?
Couldn't
Like,
do
you give them a little offering, like, can I step in your tooth palace? Like, I can be polite about it.
That seems like the worst possible idea.
Do you think they like dog or cat toys? Like, if I bring them one of those little balls in the thing, is that like a good gift for them?
I mean, maybe. Oh man. Woof.
Tooth palace.
Tooth Palace indeed. Wow, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna leave like the links to both of the things that we're talking about,
Yeah.
like in the description. you'll have to go to fierceferrets.com to actually see them.
Yeah.
Because you can't see them on like our podcast, things. But I'm gonna leave a link to these. I want you to look at this terrifying fucking tooth palace. Oh my god.
No, I know. It's creepy looking. Like, I don't know how back then you thought that was like pretty to even make. It's spooky. It just looks spooky.
It's got like fucking like a weird rune right above the door. Nah, fam.
Witchcraft rune. Yeah, I know there's no comment section on whatever podcast page you're listening to on, but we do post these on YouTube. So if you're listening on YouTube or you want to go to the YouTube, it's youtube.com/Fierce Ferrets. I would love to hear what you would do with your tooth palace. I want to know. What would you do inside your tooth
tell
palace?
Us what you would do with your tooth palace. Besides, get abducted by the Fae and have them steal your kneecaps.
Oh, they get added to the palace.
No.
It's got other bones in it. Why not?
Anyway. Wow.
It really is, like, I stared at this for a bit. Because it's just...
Yeah, like, I can't... I'm kind of enraptured.
I know. Because you want to know what it was for. It also doesn't have a roof. What's up with that? Like, it just...
This is absolutely some kind of weird, like, ritual site. Like... My god. Okay, anyway, I have to stop looking at this picture. With that, I know this is a bit of a shorter episode, but we're gonna. I think that's about all the time we've got for right now.
I mean, we threw in a surprise movie segue. That was fun.
Yeah, we went on a little bit of a tangent.
We have fun here.
Yeah. But with that, thank you everybody so much for listening. Very much appreciate it. We have so many more other podcasts and stuff that you can check us out in. We do Multiversal and Drunk Fandom and stuff like that over on fierceferrets.com. You can go check out all the rest of the cool things we make over there. And thank you very much to the Fierce Ferrets for, hosting this show on your site. I very much appreciate it.
Of course.
But yeah, I think, all of our social medias and stuff like that, you can find us. We are at the COTV podcast on like Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff.
If you're already on the Fierce Ferret site, the page there actually also lists all the links to the Patreon, the Instagram, the Twitters.
Yeah. And you can find our Patreon stuff like on our social medias and stuff like that too. Speaking of Patreon, thank you so much to our patron right now, which is Brandonson. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you continuing to support the show. If you want to have a shout out, you can pledge to the Patreon, and there's also like links to the Discord server, stuff like that there as well. And yeah, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, you covered everything.
Okay. But yeah, so with that, have a wonderful night, everybody. Hope that you're enjoying, or day, whatever it is for you when you're listening to this. But hope that, your weeks are going fine, and that you're staying safe and staying healthy. But yeah, do something nice for somebody that's not necessarily yourself, and
stay spooky.
Sweet dreams.
Call of the Void contains strong language and possible trigger warnings and is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Call the Void contains strong language and possible trigger warnings and is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.